Hey everybody, Fallout here, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my current favorite method to quickly demolish the Primeval in Gambit mode. I recently put a video on my channel showing a Twitch highlight, please follow me by the way, smooth, where my teammates and I had destroyed a Primeval in under 5 seconds, and a lot of people wanted to know exactly what we were doing. If you haven't seen the video, you can check the link in the top right corner right now. Okay, so our Primeval game plan has a couple of key elements with a little room for some flexibility. Let's go ahead and start with the essentials. You're gonna need one Dawnblade Warlock with the new Well of Radiance super, also wearing the Lunafaction boots. That one should be pretty obvious. The Well of Radiance is a great offensive buff, lasts for a very long time. The Lunafaction boots automatically reload your weapons continuously while you're in the Well of Radiance, which is pretty important. You see, any time that you're spending on reloading your weapon is wasted time, because that's time that you could be spending DPSing the Primeval. Okay, moving on. You're also going to need 2 hunters. One of them should be a Night Stalker with the Shadow Shot, aka the Tether, and the other should be an Arc Strider. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking me why we're running a Tether to debuff the Primeval rather than using Melting Point, aka the Hammer Strike ability on the Hammer Titan. Good question. Hammer Strike is a stronger debuff than the Tether, but we found in practice that the Tether was working way better than the Hammer Strike for a couple of reasons. First of all, the Tether lasts way longer compared to the extremely short duration of Hammer Strike. On top of that, Hammer Strike requires the Guardian to get right into the thick of the Primeval area, which isn't really easy to do, and can frequently lead to them getting overwhelmed by all the taken trash in the area and getting killed. The Tether, while not as strong as the Hammer Strike, you can fire it from range, and once activated, it can slow down and weaken not only the Primeval, but all the trash in the area, making it a much safer environment overall for you to roll in and mollywop the Primeval. Now, the Arc Strider. Why have an Arc Strider? Seems like a strange choice, but they do have a key role: flinching the Primeval. Like many high-level bosses in Destiny, the Primeval has the really annoying ability to do a ground pound, aka stomping the ground when you get too close, which will A, do heavy damage to you, and more annoyingly B, will knock you way far away from the fight. The Arc Strider's job is to repeatedly whack the tethered Primeval and flinch it, because when they are being repeatedly flinched, they lack the ability to perform a knockback attack. This sets the stage for the ultimate tactic, which I'm sure you already know: shotgunning the Primeval into oblivion. No doubt we are going with the king of PvE DPSing shotguns, and that is the Ikalos SG, better known as the Escalation Protocol shotgun. If you don't have this gun and you really want to get into Gambit, yeah, got some bad news for you. You're probably gonna need to do some grinding. This thing really melts, even in Forsaken. A surprise to no one. For the unfamiliar, the perk Trench Barrel activates after you pull off a melee, giving you a brief window to do massive damage with this shotgun. So when you combine everything together, it looks like this. Summon the Primeval, Night Stalker drops the Tether, Warlock drops the Well of Radiance right on top of the Primeval. The Arc Strider, also wearing the Raiden Flux, should have mentioned that a little earlier for extra damage, starts whacking away to flinch the Primeval and prevent the ground pound. Meanwhile, the 3 other Guardians all activate Trench Barrel on their EP shotguns and tear the Primeval a new beehole. Now, the subclass of the 4th Guardian is kind of a flex role. Our group was running with a Hammer Titan sort of as a backup. In case the operation failed, or for some reason we weren't able to pull off a Tether, the Hammer Titan can at the very least pull off a Desperation Melting Point on the Primeval. As long as you have the core tactic in place: tether the Primeval, drop the Well of Radiance, Arc Staff to prevent knockback, and unload on the Primeval with the EP shotgun, you should be fine. I should mention, this strategy, while very good, for the record, I almost never lose games of Gambit unless it's due to an error code, it's not invincible. The main thing that can mess you up are invading Guardians, but if you deal with them properly, very easy to win. Here's been my team's strategy for handling invaders. Usually, if we're up by a good amount and we summon the Primeval before the enemy team summons theirs, we'll simply wait after summoning and we'll bait out an invasion. Typically, I've noticed that enemy teams get nervous when your Primeval is summoned, and usually, maybe like 8 times out of 10, they'll send an invader right away as kind of a panic move. And that is actually what you're looking for. You summon the Primeval, but wait, back up as a group, and wait for the invader. When they come, and believe me, most of the time they will, stop what you're doing, team shoot them with whatever you've got, kill them right then and there, and when they're dead, you are 100% good to go. Because you now have the ability to kill the Primeval so quickly, if the enemy invader gets killed right away, or without pulling off a huge team wipe, it's basically a GG. Remember, there's a cooldown on how often the enemy team can invade, so if you beat that first invader, you have all the time in the world to shred the Primeval without getting interrupted by another invader. For invader killing, I know this is going to make a lot of people moan and groan, but the Sleeper Simulant really is the king, at least at the current recording of this video. One-shots any Guardian, even from cross-map, even out of their super, but hey, use whatever you want. Of course, if you're behind the enemy team and they've already summoned their Primeval before you, you might be better off just going straight for the DPS. You kinda have to play it by ear, you'll figure it out. Anyway, that is how you shred the Primeval very quickly in Gambit. Feel free to let me know whatever your favorite methods are down in the comment section. I always like reading about and trying new tactics. If you like this content, please click the like button and don't forget to click subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, hope you learned something, see you next time.